Hello, welcome to Isolation
Hello.
Gigs. My name's Elliot, this is Chloe, and today we're doing something a bit different. We're going to do a little Q&A session
We are.
and have a little bit of a general chat. I hope you're all staying dry. It's a bit wet today.
A bit.
Yeah, a little bit rainy, but I've been reliably informed by the weathermen who lied to me last week that it's going to be really nice next week. So yeah, let's hope for some sun. We've got 4 people on already, so I'm going to just reiterate that. So anyone watching, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of Isolation Gigs. But also, we're doing a Q&A this week. So if you've got questions, please keep them clean if you can. Put them in the comment section, and we will answer them. We will try and answer them. So it can be about music, it can be about art, it can be about life, it can be about whatever. But just, yeah, give us your questions. Pop them in the comment section if you're on YouTube or Facebook. I know we've got a lot more people watching on Facebook these days, so it's dead easy to comment on Facebook. So yeah, anyway, to start with, how are you anyway?
Oh, me. It's like you're talking out
no one
there.
else
It's like, if anyone else wants to answer, go ahead. Yeah, I'm all right, thanks, Al. Like you're saying, it's just the weather's been. We were saying, weren't we? The weather's been so heavy and kind of rainy and that it's been a little bit challenging. But no, generally, I'm pretty good this week, thanks. It's yes, it's like we've got some freedoms now, but we were saying, weren't we? It still feels a bit kind of, you've got some freedoms, but you've not got full freedom. So it's a little bit like stop start and kind of navigating our way through that. But I have managed to socially distance, catch up with a few more people over the last couple of weeks, which has been really nice. So, it's like not seeing them on things like this anymore. It's actually seeing them in person, which just has been a boost. So yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I've been a bit sick this week. I've been not feeling too good, and but I'm a bit better now, which is good. And yeah, I just think the whole week's been a bit. It's one of those weeks I haven't really enjoyed. It's been a bit nothingy. Some things that were planned kind of fell away anyway, which is quite good because the weather was just terrible. So it's quite good that I probably wouldn't have wanted to do them anyway. So
yeah, I hear you.
So yeah, it's one of those weeks. It's out of lockdown, but I don't feel particularly enthused by anything that we're supposedly now allowed to do. A lot of it's a bit restricted. It's like, driving with the handbrake on in a way, and I prefer to drive full throttle when I do things. So
I know. But it's like one toe in, isn't it? And like 9 toes out. So you're sort of kind of in. But I mean, we shouldn't complain because obviously it's starting to move, and it has to be gradual. But equally, it's it's not how we're used to living, is it? Like, so we're just trying to find the good in it, I guess.
Yeah. At least we can meet up with people. What's been funny is like seeing people that I've seen on Zoom so much.
I know.
And then it's like, oh, that's them in real life. Must be what like meeting celebrities like that you only ever see on the TV, and then you see them
in real life. They're 4D.
Yeah, and they're actually real people. And learning to interact with people again in real life is probably a skill that everyone needs to relearn.
Yeah, it's bizarre. We were saying, weren't we, how you come away, you're loving it, and it's nice because you're getting that sort of buzz again. But I've come away from whenever I've seen people and I've just felt knackered. Like, I mean, I have had quite long drives every time I've had to see someone, because not many people that are around here. Mostly people are in London that I tend to spend a lot of time with, and but so the drive's one thing, but then I think it is just the social interaction that sort of has like zapped a bit of energy, and then then you kind of sit for a bit and you're fine. But it's like, oh, this is like you say, it's a new thing. It's like a new learning that we have to do.
Yeah, definitely. It's just the way it is now, isn't it? And
it's the way it is.
Yeah, and hopefully that's it. And hopefully we'll get used to it. And I'm just going to carry on meeting people in gardens and parks, because actually I found that's more enjoyable than you know, the alternative. And you know, I'm not going to the I walked past the hairdressers the other day, and everyone's got these visors on, and it just looks very uninviting. So
feels like they're about to do like metal work rather than cut your hair.
Yeah, it looks very odd. So yeah, I'm quite happy not to do that. We've got a couple of comments already. Hey up, double top, and
double top? Is that you?
Yeah,
got it.
And I, as usual, I can't see the names, but I think this must be Mr. Sesh.
I'm not getting anything on Facebook at the moment, but
I've got a couple of Facebook. Probably Mr. Sesh, because this is what he normally says. As I always say, I think he means, must struggle up the mountains to enjoy the view, and that is a very well known saying from him.
That's me struggling up the mountain,
and it's true. I hope the view's good when we get up there.
I think. Okay, I'm always the optimistic and always the hopeful, and I know that, you know, sometimes it's not the most realistic in other people's opinions, but I do think that lots naturally and steadily will have changed in this time and will still be changing. So I think by the time we get to some level of being able to function a bit more normally, I think it will be different, and I think it will be worth a view. I think it might take a while to get there. So I don't think, you know, I also don't think everyone or everything's changed, but I think there'll be subtle changes that maybe in time we'll notice as hopefully being improvements. But
I'm hoping that as things progress, like has happened with a few other things, gradually the you know, the things which seem a bit weird now, that they start to get lifted one by one. So I'm kind of quite happy to sit back and wait until the point of when things kind of go a bit more back to how they would have been before, so that it's not such a shock when you go into a pub and you have to sit on a table and you have to put a deposit down and stuff like that. To me, I like walking into a pub. I don't know anyone or whatever. No one knows I'm there. I don't want to give my details over, really. I just kind of like to go if I want to. So it's that kind of freedom, you know, if you're walking around a town or something, a city you've not been in. Oh, should we just pop in here? I don't think that's possible at the moment. So like, until it is, I probably won't be going. But
I hear you. I mean, I think there'll always be the people in the country that want to go, you know, and they'll be the ones that are obviously going to help boost the economy that is needed. But I'm more I'm still kind of playing on the side of caution in terms of living with mum and dad, and, you know, not wanting to mix with too many people, while we know the virus is still pretty rife, and we know that it could kick in again. So it's like, I just like doing things in little bits at the moment, building up again, so it's not like shock factor.
Absolutely. And I kind of feel like as well, like I don't want that kind of pressure of having to go from one thing straight to another thing out of lockdown. So this is a good comment. As long as you have good company, it doesn't matter where you are. And
that's true.
Absolutely,
very true.
Absolutely agree with that. And one good thing about you know, lockdown is that you could have been sitting in a park or in your mate's back garden or somewhere green, and you know, you've been with a few cool people, and it doesn't really matter that you're not anywhere else, you know.
It only matters that you can't go inside very easily when the weather's like this. Like, that's when it's a bit more difficult, isn't it? But hopefully I think there's due to be a heat wave, so we might have, you know, repeat of last summer / the summer before, where we had weeks and weeks of lovely weather, which would be really nice. I think
so. And me and the guys still managed a 3-mile walk last night in the rain, but it was quite nice because it was like warm rain. And it wasn't like, I would never do it if it was cold rain, because you just get colds and stuff.
You just get chilled, don't you?
Yeah, but actually it was quite nice because we were warm, but we were kind of getting rained on as well. So
that is nice.
That was actually quite nice. I'm just going to share this to our to my personal page as well.
I think I've already done that, but
we might get you know, we might just get some more people.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we're going to do a Q&A. So if anyone's got any questions, put them in the comments, and we'll read them out when we can. But we've got a few questions that we've got
planned
ourselves, haven't we? So do you want me to go first? And
up to you, El. Like, I just want to say that we just thought we have different topics and things lined up and up our sleeve in terms of the podcast moving forward, but as we've had a little bit of a sort of lully week this week, we just thought, what can we do? What's what will make us feel a bit inspired? And I just thought that why not? Obviously, we're brother and sister, so we do know each other very well, but there's probably a lot we haven't really ever asked each other, or I don't know, you guys won't know. So we thought we'd do a Q&A just to give you a little bit of info about us, and you guys can ask questions as well. So hit us with it, and we'll just see how we go, see if we can answer them.
And there might be some stuff that people don't know a lot about us, because we always ask other people questions that we have on. And
also, I've no idea what you're going to ask me, and you have no idea what I'm.
No idea at all. And just want to say as well, we are going to do a podcast probably next week. We're not sure yet, on the independent venues and the struggle of independent venues. But if anyone's watching that runs a night, a promoter or a venue, and they want to come on, just drop me a message, and I'll try and get you on, because we're trying to put together a stellar lineup of music people.
Well, we need a nice mix, don't we, just to get that overall picture, like we had last week with the NHS.
That's it. We don't want to do it until we can touch on as many areas as we can, because it's an important thing, and it's also something that they will have a hell of a lot of more insight into it than we will. So we want to make sure we get the right people. But so as well, anyone wants to do that, get in touch with me or Chloe, or Isolation Gigs, or Isolation Artists. You can find them on Facebook and YouTube. But okay, I'll kick off here.
Go for it.
Kick off. I've just put some random questions down, so I'm
not used to being asked questions, so this is like
on here. No,
generally,
there's never any questions we get asked on here, really. So I'm gonna put it this way. I'm not sure how I would pigeonhole this for you. So I'm going to ask you like a twofold question.
Okay.
Firstly, what is your favorite musical style? And what musical style do you think you are? Because it's very difficult to say yourself, because I find that difficult to say. So what's your favorite musical style, and what do you think you're closest to, or you are?
And we're talking musical as in genre of musical as in music, not musical theatre.
Yeah, I guess genre of music, I suppose.
Music. Okay, what's my favourite? Oh, I find that I am so difficult with this sort of question, because I feel like I'm always a bit of a pick and mix of everything. But what is my favourite musical style? Do I have to pick one? Yeah.
Ideally, but if it's two, I'll let you off.
To sing, to perform.
Yeah, to perform.
Favorite musical style to perform. Oh God, I love so many different styles. This is awful. Okay, so as a soloist, I'm trying to think, what do I tend to do? I guess I tend to veer. Oh, that's the second question, isn't it? What is my favorite musical style? I listen to artists mainly that have like a poppy folky style.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of my favorite musical style. If I have to think about who do I listen to,
folk pop or pop folk. Yeah.
Folk pop. I guess, but I don't even know if that's a thing. And like acousticy pop folk. Does that make sense in terms of what do I turn to when I just want to like zone out and listen? And the thing is with music is there's so many things that tap into different emotions and different moods, isn't there? So it's like, because then I'll love upbeat pop or I'm not just Miss Pop, but like, you know, but I think in terms of that's probably the easiest answer I can give you right now. And what do I think I'm most suited to? Or I tend to, it's difficult because as a soloist, I realized that a lot of my stuff is kind of got like a 60s inspiration.
Yeah.
So I think I'm kind of suited to that sort of era.
Great era.
But then I obviously do a lot of vintage stuff and harmony work and musical theatre. So I don't know what I'm most suited to. If someone sat down with me and said, what sort of album do you want to make? Which I've had thoughts about many, many, many times, obviously, because I haven't made an album. I really don't know. So I think I'd need someone to help guide me with that, because
might be an eclectic mix of stuff.
Yeah, with maybe like a thread of a sort of vibe going through it, but with, you know, there has to be some uplifting, up-tempo stuff in there where you can dance, because obviously I'm a dancer. But then there also has to be that sort of stripped back, really raw and pure kind of vibe as well. So I think it would probably be quite a mixed album, but at some point I would like to do it.
Would you make a vintage album? Like purely?
Oh, would I make a vintage album? Well, I've never really gigged as a vintage artist alone. Like, obviously I gig with Ellen the Pocket Bells, and that's pure vintage with that kind of more modern twist as well. I don't know, maybe someone would say that you should make a sort of vintage, I would say a vintage inspired album if I was to ever do something vintagey. It wouldn't be, I don't think I'd do a pure vintage album.
Cool.
Yeah, because I have that like edge of the more modern side that I'm always influenced by as well.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
No, it does.
Cool.
And it's a good insight into your musical style, I suppose.
Yeah, I do have to say though that I am, you know, I love musical theatre, but gigging, I don't, you know, if I'm thinking of me as a gigging artist, then I don't obviously tend to do musical theatre sets so much. That's more when I'm on a stage dancing full out and singing full out.
We might take a question from the thing before you ask me one, but also I can't see who this is because it doesn't tell me. But yay, a vintage inspired album sounds a great idea, Chloe. I think that might be Mum.
I'm just seeing if I've got the update.
Apologies if it isn't. I'm just calling someone Mum.
It does. But, it does seem like it might be.
Seems
but
like
we can't tell. But thank you, whoever that is. I appreciate the support. Alrighty, I'm going to ask you. So my questions, some of them are sort of based around, you know, music, but some of them are digging at a whole other side of you, if that's okay. Okay, so actually, this first question is that. So my first question for you is: outside of music, where do you find your energy tends to go, and what else interests you on a regular basis?
Outside of music.
Outside of music.
Okay. So, I like sport.
Currently,
okay. I like sport. So, I wouldn't say I put a lot of energy into sport these days. I say I used to. But for me now, it's more like a bit of a distraction thing to have on in the background. Like I was watching the cricket today, or I watched the Arsenal games and stuff like that. So I like that, but it's not really, I don't put a lot of energy into it. I put energy into, you know, reading poetry and things like that, thinking about philosophical ideas, watching a lot of YouTube things which are about, you know, sociology, philosophy, psychology, things like that. I put a lot of time into that. Not a lot of time, but again, you know, every now and then.
It's where you'll put, like, you know, if you're wanting to do something else that isn't play guitar or play piano or, you know, thing, you spend time doing that. You spend time, you go, oh, I feel like looking into that, or, you know, your interest is sparked in that area as well.
Yeah, because I studied it at uni, and since I've done music, I've not delved so heavily into it, but I've started to delve back into it. You know, revisit some of the writers that I used to read in uni and school and stuff, because I find a lot of their lessons are good for modern day life.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it to help you navigate modern day life, do you think?
Absolutely, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that we're searching for has already been written, but it might have been written 200 or 300 years ago, or even longer. And you know, a lot of those things are universal, and they'll carry on no matter how crazy the world gets. Sometimes to strip back to something like that is really helpful, and also, yeah, just to kind of to try and tackle some of the big issues as well. Like, I like to look at what someone that I respect said about it, rather than, I don't really want to be reading what people on Facebook think or Instagram, or conspiracy theorists. I actually want to go to like a really like well-renowned person that I listen to and respect, because they've studied and they've done loads of work on it, rather than, you know, there's too many opinions on social media which are not really based on anything these days. But also during lockdown, I've spent a lot more energy on things like walking, and I've always enjoyed walking around cities and towns, and more recently in the countryside. So I do spend a lot more energy on that now as well, like exercise more than because I've had time to.
Sure.
Cool. But yeah, I hope that answers that.
Oh, that totally answers that, and I mean I relate a lot to it, and I was just thinking, I mean, you know, a lot of the wisdom that we are looking for, or the answers, they are like within us. We just haven't grown up in a society where we tap into it so much. And I think, you know, that I think you and I are naturally inclined towards that, and to reading and learning about that sort of topic. But until you actually do slow down, or you do have time, you make time, like we've just been given that, haven't we? You can sometimes numb that side of yourself, or that wisdom that is with you already, and reading a few things that come from, you know, very renowned sources just sort of spark that, and you go, oh yeah, that I relate to that, or I resonate with that, because somewhere in you it's already there. So, or
even a news source that you hadn't found before, but seems to spark your imagination, that can be good as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've got a question from the audience.
Great.
Again, I don't know who it's by, but do you think live streams will be a prominent tool for musicians moving forward? Will they be as effective as they have been in lockdown?
Should I answer that, or are we both
gonna? Do you want to go first, and I'll?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've been quite sort of passionate about live streams since lockdown, but with the sort of outlook that it will be something that continues. And I do wholeheartedly believe that it is a thing that is important for musicians to sort of get on board with and start doing. I don't know if they'll be as effective as they've been in lockdown. Just because I think once people are able to go out and obviously see live music and be with live musicians, you can't take anything away from that experience. But like we said, what we've learned doing them, and obviously anyone on the Isolation Gigs platform who've been doing throughout, what has been really special is being able to tap in with a worldwide audience. And I think that's sort of where the power will be, keeping and building a fan base that isn't just the people that can come to your gigs in the city, or, you know, in different places in the UK. So I think that's where the power is, and I think that's where it will be effective. So I do think that, you know, if you've established your way with them and you've got comfortable with them now, I think it's something that's worth keeping up. Maybe not as frequently as we have been doing in lockdown, but yeah, keep up as a special treat for people that, you know, your fans you have online.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I think we've seen, obviously through Isolation Gigs, we've seen a hell of a lot of musicians. We've seen how some people have really grown through the lockdown, got more confident with their streams. I think we have ourselves, got more confident with their streams, with their setup, and it's actually quite cool. It's a skill now that we have, that we can take at any point and in any venue. We can probably do a live stream now, and we would kind of know how to do it, whereas we wouldn't have really known before. I mean, even though I look back at my my first live stream I did in lockdown, and the framing was all over the place. I was like standing and sitting, and I don't know why I was standing, because I think it's because I thought I was still doing a gig, and I thought if I didn't stand, I always stand when I play. If I didn't stand, I wouldn't be able to play as well, and also it wouldn't feel like a proper gig. And then I was thinking, but actually it looks really funny, because like
it's not a proper gig in terms
I'm
of what
reasonably tall as well, and the camera angle made me look like I was playing in a little kind of box. And then also the lighting was terrible. It was like I was in the dark, because I thought it looked cool to me, but it probably didn't look that cool. And I think what I'm really looking forward to is like new platforms opening up. So say a musician potentially can pick and choose a bit more when they play, rather than having to go and play for a promoter, probably spending out loads of money, it maybe not earning any money. If you're going to not earn a lot of money, it's actually a lot more cost effective to just do a live stream, rather than spend loads of money on travel. Obviously everyone still wants to go and play lovely gigs sometimes, but I think there'll be a new hunger for and a possibility for those other kind of streamed gigs, which will be another kind of extension of the live music scene, hopefully.
Absolutely. And as you've been speaking, I've just been thinking that live gigs, what am I saying? Live streams, that doesn't just, in my head, when I first answered that question, I was thinking about me and Busking Bruce on the sofa, in the lounge. But live streams can be done from anywhere, and they obviously are already being done from anywhere. So even if you are doing a live gig in a live venue, you can still stream that. So then that's, you're actually getting best of both worlds, which I'm sure that there were people already doing before lockdown, but I don't think that many. I don't think it wasn't like we're doing a gig, so let's also do a live stream. Whereas I think now, I mean, I know that the first time we do a Pocket Bells gig again, I'm going to get that camera and I'm going to live stream that for,
exactly.
We're going to make sure we do that, because one, we haven't done a gig together in months because of lockdown, and it'll just be a massive celebration really to be able to do that. So I think I think it's definitely a new way of doing things that I think will continue.
I think so. So I hope that answers the question. Okay, so I've got a question for you now. Okay. People always ask me this, and it's really hard to say. But what's the best or the most fun gig you've ever done? And it can be solo, it can be with your various bands.
Okay.
Like it might be the best, or it might be the best because you loved it, or there might be another one which was more fun because it was just fun.
Oh, there's been so many.
It's hard to say, isn't it? I always find it
such a massive question. Again, because I'm sort of a bit multifaceted. Like, I think I pigeonhole different parts of myself. So it's like musical theatre Chloe, and then gigging Chloe, and then the Pocket Bells Chloe. So I then sort of don't merge them all together, and which I probably should do more. But I mean, the one that I'm going to go with my first instinct, because that's the best thing to do. I can't get away from playing Glastonbury with Ellen the Pocket Bells. I mean, that was just amazing. We did 3 different stages and over the weekend, and each stage was completely different, but we had such great reception from everyone, and it was just, it's a pinch yourself moment. It was literally like, are we seriously stood on stage at Glastonbury? Like, what is going on? This is mad. And it was so amazing because it was also with the boys in the band and our horn players as well. So we had 5-piece band and the 5 girls. There was like a whole army of us, troop of us, playing Glastonbury together, and it was yeah, that's definitely been a highlight. I've had so many fun, amazing random gigs and random shows that I've been involved with over the last like 13 years. But in terms of like kind of all encompassing fun and enjoyment, and that, as I say, that sort of pinch yourself feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm doing this, I think it has to be Glastonbury, because
it's probably the best gig anyone can do anyway, and
yeah,
the fact that it's there, it's going to be great fun, and the fact that it looked like brilliant fun when I watched the videos and stuff, and
so fun.
Yeah.
And then that also, it's not just the one gig, it's a whole weekend of, obviously you're gigging, but then you're getting to also be a punter at Glastonbury, and you know, you're getting to see so many artists, and you're just around music all weekend. And the weather was pretty good as well, so that made it even more fun too. I mean, it was exhausting, but you know, some of the best fun is exhausting, isn't it? Like, you come to the end of it and you think, I'm that exhausted because I was having a good time. So
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think Glastonbury is amazing. So like, yeah, it's amazing fun. We've got. I want to
ask that one back to you.
Okay,
then that comes to mind.
Then we've got a couple of comments. Wow, again, this is so difficult to. It's so difficult to pinpoint, isn't it?
It really is.
Oh, the most fun gig. Do you know what? Do you know what? I'm going to say about 5-6 years ago, when we launched a single called Joanna, and we did it in the Half Moon of Bishop Stortford. Like,
I was there, right?
You were there, yeah, with the whole band. And then there's a picture of us afterwards in the back of the pub, I think, in the garden, in another pub, and we've all got a glass of champagne, and there's about 20 of us, and I think it's one of the only gigs I've done where I've had so many mates around at the same time. And obviously I had the whole band then. There was about 5 or 6 of us in the band, and then there was about another it looked like about 14 other people in the picture. Like, I think that's the most fun gig, because it was just kind of like one of the first times I'd actually launched something. But then again, the best gig I'd probably say was the launch of the Lanes album, because that was just such a brilliant night. Like,
yeah, it's amazing.
I just liked everything about. I was not feeling too well actually beforehand.
Neither was I.
But I loved everything about that night, and the fact that we had, you know, Dan Lumley was there, who I think Dan might be on the thing today. So if he is, hey Dan. Daisy Chute was there supporting us, and the fact that we managed to basically pack out a venue in London to do the launch, and we got to play all those new songs for the first time. I've never played a whole album before straight through, so I think that was probably up there. So I think those two are joint, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree, being at both those nights. I think they're both of that same level. I think because Joanna was, you know, as you said, the first thing you'd ever launched. It was so that there was such a buzz that night, and the same. It was the same with the launch of the album. Yeah. Last year.
It was a great buzz, and the fact we had our little dressing room upstairs, and we came down to that music.
Yeah.
Everything about the night just. It was very stressful to do because it was in the middle of London. We had to take all the equipment in there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But it was just such fun, and we had so many friends and family come that I don't think I've ever had that many friends and family all come to the same gig, and we could all chat and stay in the bar afterwards as well. So that was great. That was a great night. Yeah, absolutely.
You just made me think about. I remember when we did a 5-year anniversary celebration, the Pocket Bells at the Hippodrome, and the reason that was so enjoyable was because there were so many different people there supporting us that we loved. And I think that, you know, there's something to be said for that, isn't there? It's, you don't have many gigs where you get that, and unless you put something on or you really make a big deal of it. And that really is special when you actually get to do what you love doing for the people that have supported you for so long. And you know?
Absolutely, because you do so many gigs where, you know, they're great and you have, you know, you play really well, but sometimes you're playing to people you don't know.
Yeah.
And it's nice to bring it home sometimes, and it makes all the kind of little gigs that you do worth it, you know. So we've got I think this is from Rachel Grundy.
Okay.
I think, because someone said thank you, Rachel, for the
Okay.
thing. I'm going to try and find out if there's a way I can actually see who these people are.
I mean,
don't know how you do
trying
it.
to see, but mine's somehow not updating in time.
So, hey guys, are you going to record anything more together?
Oh, good question.
Or any more charity singles? Loved Be More Kind. Well, thank you, Rachel. If it is Rachel,
yeah, we're not going to know till after.
We liked Be More Kind.
We love Be More Kind, and we still have more people that we want to share it with, so that they can also like and love it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to answer this one?
Yes, it's me.
The answer?
It is Rachel. Yes, it's me.
Oh, thanks, Rach.
So, yeah, I think the answer is yes. We can't really say anything about what it might be yet, but there is definitely something that we are planning to do. We're just not sure when.
Yeah, we're definitely. I mean, we will definitely do what we've got an idea, haven't we, between us?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the sort of collaboration aspect of Be More Kind was so amazing and so exciting that it would be a crime not to do another one like that. And Gabby Roslin said, you know, she was like, we need to hear more. She wanted us to do more. So if Gabby said it, then we will do it. But yeah, we will do more together, won't we? I think.
Yeah, if we can do another Be More Kind thing, that'd be fun. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, we're not giving you that much information there, Rach, but the answer is yes. And watch this space, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is it your question now?
You a question now? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
We're so planned with this, aren't we? Oh yeah, okay, my next question. So obviously I know, being your sister, that you started pursuing music professionally in your mid-20s, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm giving away a bit of my age there.
Yeah.
But anyway, in that time in your life.
Somewhere around 20.
Do you remember, because I remember lots of chats about you went to uni and you've always loved music, obviously, it's always been in your veins, but you went to university and you studied media
and politics. Yeah.
And politics, yeah, I thought that. So my question is, what do you remember what the catalyst was to really make you like go, okay, I am going to pursue this professionally? Like, I'm not going to think about going down any other sort of conventional path. Or do you remember what actually made that happen? Or is it a cult accumulation of things?
Blimey. Yes. I don't know. I don't remember what the exact catalyst was. Well, 2 or 3 things probably. One, I always worked in jobs which I didn't particularly like. I liked, you know, I actually loved working in HMV because that was music.
Yeah.
But I was probably doing roles that I didn't really want to do for the rest of my life, you know. I was just kind of having fun and also, you know, trying to earn some money. So that was partly it. But also because I'd been around music for a long time before I kind of decided to do it as a job, I'd seen like how much fun it could be and how much fun like touring around and doing gigs in London was, and you know, playing like festivals that I played with various different bands that I was in. I'd seen kind of how much fun it was, and I thought, well, maybe I could do. Why can't I do that? You know?
Yeah.
Maybe I can, and I think I had a very strong motivation to do it. But my main thing is why I like doing music is I wanted to be a songwriter. So I always wanted to be a songwriter because I studied it unwittingly when I was a kid. You know, like I used to listen to music and work out how I'd be able to do that one day. And
that was your thought process when you were young.
That's what I thought, yeah. And
right.
And then one day when I realized I could potentially do it, that might have been the catalyst actually.
Yeah.
When I realized that I could potentially do it, I still didn't know because for me it was a really hard thing to do.
What you mean in your thoughts it was hard, or it was actually hard?
It was actually hard, yeah. In my thoughts, I thought it was easy. I thought anyone could write a song. That can't be that hard. Yeah. Because songs sound so effortless when you hear them.
Sure.
They're almost like they've kind of like dropped off onto the page. But yeah, I guess that might be in the catalyst, really. Like the fact that I just wanted to be a songwriter and I wanted to write songs.
But what was the moment when you realized you could do it then? Do you remember what that was? Where you actually went, oh, hang on, I actually could do this. Like, did you have a song that was received well, or did you just feel like, I like what I just did?
There was one song called Everything You Are, which is the first song on my first EP.
Yeah.
Which was the first song that I actually didn't hate. So I must have written like so many things on cassette tapes. That's how old I am. And like, you know, if I listen back to them now, there might be a few things on there, but I used to listen back to things and I used to go, it was almost like, I don't know, something that doesn't quite work. Like,
yeah.
You know, I don't know, think of something that, you know, you do that it doesn't quite work. And that was what all my songs were like. And it was like, well, that bit's okay. That bit's not too bad, but it doesn't fit together. And I hadn't worked out how you fit it all together. And then that song was the first one which actually like fitted as a proper song. And I thought, actually, I've listened back and I don't hate it. It's actually all right. And I could probably do more of this. So yeah, that's what I thought then.
Cool. Awesome.
So yeah.
That's I really like that, you know, you found that out, because I thought about that quite a lot. And
you can probably still find that song on SoundCloud, I think, somewhere.
Oh, it's a beautiful song.
I think.
Old school.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure. Yeah, you might have already answered this question.
Okay. Try me. Or try another one.
Yeah, I'll try this one. So, who's the best person or group that you've played with or alongside? So you could have done a gig with them and you just thought, oh my God, they were amazing.
Oh. As in, so we've like either supported them or just been on the same bill.
Or yeah. Or you've played with them. You know, I don't know. You might have done.
The best person. Oh gosh, you know how your brain just then has to think through everything you've done, because I can't even.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is hard. Sorry, I've gone silent now. Well, my thoughts again, I go with my first thought, but that doesn't necessarily, because I'm forgetting like things that I've done or who I may well have gigged at the same time as or whatever. But with Elle and the Pocket Bells, we always followed the Overtones career. And I know when Elle set up the group, she sort of based, it was like her sort of inspiration was the Overtones, and she kind of wanted to be the female Overtones, you know, in a sense, because it's 5 of us, and so we went to see, we got connected to them, we went to see them a few times in their Christmas concert, and then we ended up gigging with them at 100 Wardour Street, I think it was, I'm trying to remember back. So we were on the same bill and gigging at the same time, and that was really cool, because we met them when we went to see their show, and they are just such amazing guys, and they're really like their show was brilliant. And then when we got to do the same gig as them, that was really cool. But I feel like I'm forgetting people that I may well have gigged with, but that's something stuck in my brain, because I remember just thinking, this is really cool. Like when this band was started, they were an inspiration, and now here we are gigging the same gig as them. And so we had a big picture.
They're pretty cool, aren't they? And they're pretty.
They are cool. They are cool, and they have a great sound. I mean, it's changed now because sadly Timmy passed away, and the group has kind of shuffled around a bit, and some of them have left, but no, they still have a great sound. And those were, that was the sort of original Overtones days. So I think I cherish that memory a lot, because that was special. Yeah,
no, that's cool. That's a good answer.
Yeah, I just, my brain was like, oh, Overtones, that's where I'm going, so I went with it. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. Oh, okay. Right. So, do you have a person, and they can be dead or alive, who you most aspire to be like / live a life like? So basically, is there a person that you have in your mind that you aspire to kind of be like? And if so, who and why?
Be like,
or be like, or live a life similar to, that you sort of hold them up there.
Okay. Are you talking about musically, or just?
I'm talking anyone.
Like life in general.
Life, yeah. Anyone that's inspired you or.
Yeah, I like to take a lot of things from a lot of people, like so I like to kind of look at a lot of different people and kind of take different aspects from what they do, and how they are, kind of thing. Hence it's pretty difficult to say one person.
Is there anyone jumping out at you, or are there a couple of people jumping out at you?
It's difficult to say.
They don't have to be famous either,
Yeah, I don't think there's one famous person that I'd put up there, because I take various different things from various people. I love the work ethic of some musicians, and I take that on board with various different things, and the way that they kind of conduct themselves, and how they're interviewed and things like that, and how they write songs. So there's a few of those, but would I want to be like them? Probably not. Some of them definitely not.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think in terms of life, I think our granddad Popper, he was probably the biggest inspiration, because he was such a positive and wise person, and I'd want to be balanced, and I'd want to be similar to that, probably, and take on some of those things. But I think what the biggest inspiration with him was like nothing stood in his way. So like nothing was ever going to stop him. Until obviously everyone has to stop sometime, but whatever happened, he was gonna find a way around it or overcome it, and that's a big inspiration.
Yeah. When I wrote that question, I mean, my brain was thinking Popper, so I thought, I wonder if Elliot answers that or not, because you might have someone else that jumps out and has inspired you in a different way, but
there is, and again, it's the same with your question before. There's loads, too many to say like who they are. Like that person inspires one thing, that person inspires another thing. And
I think the more that you realize that, the more you realize how I guess kind of colorful you are as a person, because there's so many different things that come in to sort of influence you and make up who you are, aren't there? And hopefully, you don't necessarily even register that. It's not like I think there are some people that really take one person and they really want to take a lot of what they do and model themselves around them and you know, go for it. Like I've just never been that sort of person. I've never found there's one person that I'm just fixated on to try and replicate, basically. And
and it's a good thing, I think, not to just have one person, because then you just end up being that channeled into that person, don't you? And there's so many other people to kind of take inspiration from as well, you know.
Definitely.
I've been quite inspired by Frank Turner, the way he's interviewed as well, the way he kind of conducts himself. I think is brilliant, and he gives people time all the time, which is really nice. And he's also quite kind of balanced as well for a music star. But there's loads of people like that as well that I like.
Great.
Good question. Yeah. Really good question. Now I'm trying to find an equally good question that I've got written down here.
Well, also we can say, if anyone else has got any more questions for us, then just pop them in the comments and we'll try and answer them for you.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
It doesn't have to be the same sort of vibe. It can be anything. I've got some random questions for you.
We could just do like a really, really quick fire one where there's like 2 or 3 questions and you just go, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So, because I've got 2 or 3 questions which are not going to take a lot of answering. They just like bang, bang, bang. Have you got any of the like that?
I'm just gonna. Yeah.
Okay.
But me and you were a bit like, oh, I'm going to think about that. So they were not very like dum dum.
Okay, so for this section, it has to be quite quick answers. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll do a couple of longer ones at the end. So, favorite drink?
Oh, alcoholic.
Any can be anything.
Okay, alcoholic. I would say currently gin and tonic. And non-alcoholic. Just water.
Yep.
I love water.
Very important.
Okay, so am I doing one back at you?
Yeah.
Okay. Or do you want to answer that one too?
No, you do one back at me.
Okay, do one back at you. If you could be a superhero, what would your power be?
Get rid of coronavirus.
I mean, it's very current.
Extend time.
Okay, time is a what's the word? Illusion.
Yeah, that's true. But say I was having a great time and it was coming to an end in an hour, I'd go, can we have another 3 hours?
Of having that same great time.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Your turn.
Oh yeah. What's your ideal travel location?
Oh, I've got the same question for you.
Oh, good.
Okay, so you have to answer it back. My ideal travel location is, I'm not going to necessarily name a place, but a type of travel location. There has to beach, have to be a beach.
Yeah.
White sand, beautiful blue sea. But it needs to have a beach. Obviously good weather, sunny weather. There needs to be some sort of life going on. So there needs to be some nightlife, not proper kind of, Ibiza style, but there needs to be something going on where there's bars and there's socializing. Yeah. But also somewhere that you can take trips, whether it's like in the mountains or in the jungle, like you can go and do some exploring as well. So I wonder where that would be, but
That's pretty varied.
Yeah, it's pretty varied, but I think there's places where you can do that.
I think so.
Yeah, and good food. But that's pretty much my vibe. My question to you was basically, I'm just looking for it now. If you could visit one country right now, where would it be and why? But you can answer travel location if you want.
It's difficult because I wouldn't want to visit it right now.
Okay, but if the coronavirus wasn't here and you could just get on a plane and go, I mean, I know you don't really like planes, but go somewhere.
I don't love planes, but I'd probably go and drive down America at a time when America wasn't run by Trump. So I would say round about 2014 or something.
Okay. So this is where your time thing comes in.
My time thing, yeah.
You can go back in time.
Yeah, and I'd just get in a car and drive down America.
Yeah.
And stop at all the cool little places that I wanted to stop at, and speak to some people and see some gigs, and probably end up somewhere in Nashville or something watching some music.
Oh, amazing. I was also just going to add to mine in that with that nightlife, there needs to be some sort of like local bars where you can dance, and there's like local dancing going on. I'm vibing Cuba right now.
Cuba is a good place. Yeah, I'd love to go there.
I wonder if that would give me my ideal right now. We'll see.
It might do, actually. Has it got like all the things you said? Maybe.
I don't know.
Probably does.
Might do. Hopefully. I have to have a look into that. So you're going down America.
I'm going down America.
I'm going to Cuba.
And I want it to be sunny and nice and just cool, you know.
Cool. But not too hot for you.
Not too hot, no.
Yeah, I hear you. Is it my turn to ask you a question?
No, it's my turn actually. That leads us quite well there. Favorite kind of weather?
Oh, warm, definitely warm. Like blue skies, clear blue skies, but always a little bit of a breeze. So it's just not too like humid and suffocating. Which usually happens if you're near the sea. There's usually a little bit of some sort of breeze sifting through, but not too much. Dry. I do love summer rain, but if it's just like a burst and then you get like a rainbow, and it's warm, but not for too long. Like that's nice and refreshing, but generally just kind of nice where you can really relax and get constant with the weather rather than this. How about you?
Really, really crisp late autumnal day, like where it was sunny but not warm, and it was just clear, and then in the evening it would get cold, and I'd be potentially somewhere nice.
Would you be in a pub if you could be?
Maybe, yeah, probably in the evening, yeah.
In the evening, yeah.
With a fire.
With the fire and the October skies, there's always amazing sunsets.
Yeah, they're amazing that time. Even in London, I remember seeing them coming on the tube.
Yeah.
Back through like West Ham. I saw one of the most amazing sunsets there.
Always good at West Ham. It is though. I know it sounds funny, but like it is. Yeah,
it's the least likely place you'd think.
Clear sky, like for some reason you can always get a good sunset at that time of year. Wow, we're talking rubbish, aren't we? Okay, so next one for you. Quick one is okay. Oh, deciding which one I'm asking you. What's your greatest fear?
Oh, sharks.
Yeah.
I hate sharks. I hate the sea, actually. Like,
you only hate the sea because of the sharks, don't you?
No.
I
hate the fact that it can be infinitely deep, and you can't see how far it goes down.
Got it.
And you could be swimming on the top, and underneath there's all these kind of things going on. I went to a water park in Tenerife once, and they had a shark in the.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
In the pond, in the kind of tank as you come down the ride. Yeah. And I was like, please do not let me look at that shark as I'm coming through there. And luckily, I didn't see it.
Yeah, you do go through fast.
He goes too fast, yeah. But I mean, who puts a shark in a water park? It's crazy, like.
It's mad.
But yeah, sharks and the sea, I think.
Okay.
What about yours?
Are you throwing back to me?
Yeah, why not?
My greatest fear, I think, is leaving this world and feeling that I haven't like tapped in fully to my potential and accomplished the things I feel like I was put on this earth to do. Yeah, I think that's my driving fear. I mean, that's a deeper one than sharks, obviously, but like if I was thinking, because that's what I think about, and I think that's where, like, if I am fearful or if I'm worried or I'm anxious, it comes from that feeling of I need to be doing more, I need to be doing this, when I, because I don't want to not fulfill my purpose.
Absolutely. I mean, I share that one as well.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay. Another couple of really quick ones.
Yeah.
Care what people think, or just do your thing?
Oh, I think I'm predominantly on the just do your thing, but I definitely do struggle with caring what people think as well.
Yeah.
Definitely a side of me I'm trying to, lessen so that I can do my thing, honey.
It's a balance, yeah.
Yeah, it's a balance. You?
Do my thing, definitely, I think. I think there's only like probably one person you need to care what they think, and that's probably yourself first and foremost. And if you're happy with what you're doing, generally you're probably doing the right thing. So okay, there's other things that go on, but yeah, I think generally that works.
Yeah. Okay, me to you. Mine aren't so quick, but this can be. What's the thing you struggle with the most about yourself?
Being consistent and not getting bored of something. Maybe not bored, but like getting to a certain point with something and not taking it further. Probably is a sense of boredom, actually, in some ways.
Yeah, I think it's that needing extra stimulus.
Yeah.
And yeah, the consistency then sort of falls to the wayside, doesn't it, a bit?
Yeah, like just keeping something going, basically. Probably because I like doing so many different things, and I like to just start new things. Yeah. Sometimes you got to remember about the old things.
Yeah.
Before you start.
So it was because they weren't started for nothing, were they? There was always a seed of like inspiration and something they came to fruition for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's probably it.
Okay, I can ask you another one just because to round that one up. It is the opposite of that. What is the thing you appreciate the most about yourself?
I don't like anything.
Come on, you gotta find something.
Appreciate. Okay. Don't know. It kind of contradicts what I already said, but like my resilience, my ability to keep trying again, because I think if you work in music or anything like that, that's if you don't have that, it's very difficult because you have to keep starting again all the time. Even if you're a freelance worker or something, you finish a project, then you start another thing, don't you? Then you start another thing. So I think resilience. Yeah.
Cool. I'd agree with that. I think that's a really good quality of yours.
What about yours?
Oh, what, the two things?
Yeah.
What do I struggle with the most about myself? lots of things. It's I think similar to you actually. It's a sort of discipline, like it, and I don't know it, like if I get momentum and then I lose it, and that's for I know that's various reasons that I'm working on for why that happens, but I think that also comes down to discipline. Like there's things I know are good to do daily to help me stay on track, and I'm really good for a while and then I suddenly lose it, and it's like but I'm getting a lot better at it, but that's something I think I've always struggled with. But what do I appreciate the most about myself? My hopefulness, I think. Yeah, I think my optimism and my outlook that things can always, there's always a good in something, and there's always a good in people. Pardon?
Things can always get better.
Things can always get better, and there's always another way, like, you know, there's, which I guess ties in with yours, which is resilience and stuff, but like that feeling of, yeah, there's always some good to be found, and it just might take a bit harder to look at sometimes, but
yeah, absolutely, that's really good. Just noticed it's got really dark in here, like,
really dark
all of a sudden, like my eyes went.
I put extra lights on in here today because like, you can't see them, but it's
I
just
should have
so
positioned my spotlight, but I didn't think I needed it because I'm right by the window. But
it's like looming in on you.
The outside world is not providing us any light at the moment. Like, it's all dark. This one's a bit unfair because we like all the people, but
okay.
So I'm not gonna ask it how I've framed it on the page. I'm just gonna say, can you think of one or two isolation gigs that you've seen that you've really, really enjoyed? One or two artists, or a particular gig which featured a few artists or whatever.
Yeah. My first thought was the Jive Aces.
Yeah, they're great on that.
At the, was it that Bish Bash?
Virtual Bish Bash.
Bish Bash. They were amazing, and that
so
really
cool
lifted.
To have them.
It was so amazing to have them, and just lifted the whole scene, really, didn't it? It just lifted what we've been doing. Suddenly seeing like a full band, and with their energy, and you know, they're mad, those guys, in the best way. So it's they're brilliant. And yeah, I've really loved what I've seen of Daisy Shoots gigs. I think everyone that I've actually managed to be there to watch, I've enjoyed. You know, but Daisy, there's something magical about what she does. And so yeah, really enjoyed any of hers that I've seen.
Yeah.
How about you?
I mean, again, I love the Jive Aces because they, at the time, I think we were one of the only platforms to have a full band playing.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen any full band sets on all, and not just talking about isolation gigs, on some of the other platforms as well. I'd only seen soloists and potentially a few duos, but not many, unless they were living together. Yeah. So the fact that we had a whole band, literally, what was it, a month into lockdown?
Yeah, it was something like that, wasn't it? It was
week 4 or whatever. Yeah, it was brilliant because I don't think anyone had seen a band play for ages. So
no, it was so exciting.
It was so exciting. It's just a shame because they're so busy and so highly thought of that we could only have them for half an hour. I'd have loved to have seen like 45 minutes or an hour of them, but I'm sure we'll have them back. And yeah, agree with Daisy Shoot, definitely. Like her sound and her gigs have been brilliant. And also give a shout to, he hasn't done many recently, but he did pop up for a couple of songs the other day. I don't know if you saw him, but James Sayer.
Yeah, I did see him pop up. Oh yeah, I watched him more towards the beginning, actually. I ended up being busy when he was on with other things that were happening.
And like his rock and roll piano playing, like, and like bluesy kind of boogie woogie stuff is brilliant. And for me, like, it's really exciting to see someone that's so good at playing the piano, like, to play. And
definitely,
we don't get an abundance of piano players, because I understand as well it's definitely harder to stream a piano than a guitar, because there's various different things that go into it. But yeah, it's great when you see someone that good. So yeah, those three would stand out for me, I think. But again, I've enjoyed so many. Like,
oh yeah, like that's not taken away from anyone that has done any. I think they're just the ones that jumped out, and I always go with.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I'm almost in the darkness here. Like,
no, you're right. It's not so bad. I don't think it's so bad as what you're feeling.
Is it okay?
I am lighter than you, but I can still see you. I think everyone.
Yeah, I think it's the reflection on my screen, and the fact that it's getting, like, it's basically hammering down with rain outside. So
yeah. Well, we're coming to the point that we normally do in terms of. Oh,
I was meant to do an outdoor lesson tonight, but I'm very glad that we cancelled that, because it would have been very soggy.
I have one last question. Do you have any?
Yeah, I've got potentially one.
So shall I ask you mine?
That was my last one, but I can put another one.
Well, no, you don't have to. I mean, this one is a bit.
Mum says we can still see me. That's good.
Oh,
someone also put a thumbs up to something we did earlier. I'm not sure what, but thank you.
Cool. Thanks, guys. This is my last question. Do you believe in love? And do you believe in long-lasting, forever love?
Do you believe in love? I think that's a song.
Do you believe in love after love?
Yeah, absolutely. Love in many different ways, in many different settings, not just the kind of romantic kind of, person to person thing.
But do you believe in that as being, I guess a possibility, a reality, a thing that you want, or that is there?
No, I absolutely believe in it. I think otherwise, what are we all striving for, really? Why do we keep writing songs and things? I think Damien Rice said it, like, when you found it because you feel it when they take it away, and that's when you can know that it's kind of you've been there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I definitely believe in it, and the Beatles said all you need is love. But I also believe that it can be a short-lived thing as well.
Yeah.
I think it can be short-lived. I think the ultimate is to aim for that kind of long-term, kind of everlasting, kind of love affair kind of thing.
Growing together.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the ultimate thing to aim for. But also, when you look back, look at the kind of nice times you had with someone that maybe it didn't stay forever, because I think the world's changing a little bit, or a lot. Not necessarily for a good or bad.
It's definitely changing.
It's definitely changing. So yeah, I believe in it all, basically.
Nice one.
We have to have it.
We have to have it. I don't know why I'm singing everything today.
What to you then?
Do I?
Yeah.
Nah. Love schmov. No. Definitely love. I definitely believe in love. I mean, we have talked about this sort of stuff before, but like, I think I'm on the same page as you, really. I think I certainly want to believe in the long-lasting, forever, growing together love, because I know I'd like a family, and I guess, coming from a big family-orientated family that we are, that's important to me. But I also am realistic in the sense that, like you say, you can have periodic loves, and they can all be vital and important and shape you. And if you hadn't had that small time with someone, then you wouldn't be who you are now. And or if you hadn't had that heartbreak, you wouldn't be who you are now. So I think yeah, it's a tricky one, but of course I think love is the best thing ever.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some people are set up to be more long term in their ideals, and some people maybe are more suited to that short term. You know, like say that you were traveling the world, you know, doing stuff. It might not be conducive to that kind of go home and have dinner with the same person every night. Like, but it might. It might,
but it would take a pretty special person to
and
appreciate that.
What's so weird about like relationships and things is that everyone is so different in so many ways, and like people are quite different, and fitting two people together is a very unlikely scenario to happen, but it can.
Yeah, and I think that's why it definitely can happen, but that's what you're saying, it can fit together for a short time, but then you start to go a bit more like that. But yeah, finding that fit and doing the things that you need to do or that allow you both to become who you were, like I said earlier, put on this earth to kind of be, is I think pretty rare. So I think if you've got it out there, guys, hold on to it and appreciate it. But equally, if you haven't got it, then just keep filling your own love cup up.
Well, exactly, yeah. And actually I was speaking to someone about that yesterday, is keep doing stuff that makes you happy, and someone else will notice. And
someone else will click or gel with that.
Yeah, we just hope that we can all come out of lockdown and see where all the kind of love is. A very strange thing to say, I know.
That is a brilliant end of this Q&A. See where all the love is. Oh, that should be a song.
Yeah, it could be.
Did you have any other questions, or are we good to probably?
I think that was a good one to end on, because we both asked the same thing, didn't we?
Yeah.
And, to be honest, I don't have any that would be better than that, because I scribbled a couple others down, and I don't think that'd be worth it. So
they'll just be random now.
Very random, yeah. So, but it's been really good, actually.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed this.
We'll try and do a Q&A with someone else at some point. Maybe we'll just get them on and we'll just do a load of questions and just do short answers. Unless we're talking about an overall topic, which requires a few less questions and a little bit longer answers, we could do that with anyone, really, couldn't we? Definitely.
And we know so many different people within this crazy little business that we call art.
Crazy little thing.
And everyone has, we're kind of known as what we do for a living, what we sing, what we dance, what we perform, but we aren't known necessarily, like the other side of you isn't known. I think there's a lot of people that would surprise you with things that they think or that they are interested in outside of that, and it's quite a nice way to get to know people, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe what do you do that isn't what you do?
Yeah, I like that.
Kind of session with someone.
Yeah.
What do
you do that isn't what you do?
Isn't what you do.
People will have more stuff now because they've dug into themselves, because they've had to.
Well, so many people have started new things, haven't they, in lockdown, and started doing, various different things,
Totally.
Like cooking.
And walking.
I'm planning my next walk. I don't know where it's going to be.
How long is it going to be?
Well, I keep doing these 2-hour walks which are about, I don't know how many miles, but about 5 or 6 miles, I suppose.
Yeah. Are you walking and running in a day, or are you doing one or the other?
I normally do one or the other. Like the rule, otherwise your legs get tired. And there's at the end of the day, there's only so many routes I can do.
Totally. You should walk up from Sawbridgeworth to Saffron Walden and see.
Oh, crikey!
See how long that takes.
I think I know how long it's going to be. A hell of a long time.
Yeah. Cycle would be different. Once I get my
cycle,
bike
you could do quite quickly, I reckon. But once I get a bike, I found a bike. Sorry, we're going well off thing now.
Yeah.
But I found somewhere to store bikes the other day, which I didn't know existed.
Ooh, amazing.
It's quite a long way from my house, but it's here.
Cool.
So yeah, let's all get cycling and walking and
let's just
doing
get fit.
stuff. Yeah.
For when we come out of lockdown and see where the love is.
Yeah.
Anyway, I realized the time. I actually have to go and do another thing in about 20 minutes. So
yeah, I have to go and eat something. So
let's wrap it up and say farewell to our viewers that have stuck with us. So thank you guys for sticking with us through this Q&A. It's we love just going off topic, but hopefully it's been of some interest to you. And thanks for the questions that have been asked.
Yeah, thanks very much. The questions have been really good, actually, and I hope you've got something out of it. And please keep following Isolation Gigs. We've still got gigs happening, even though we're not in lockdown particularly. We've still got them happening, and please keep having a look at Be More Kind. We've got the video, we've got the streaming, and obviously the Just Giving page. You can still give money to it. Be More Kind /fundraising. Sorry, no. It's not that, is it at all?
No,
I'm
Just Giving Just Giving /fundraising /Be More Kind 20.
That's it.
Yeah, but I was going to say as well, watch this space because you know we've gone over halfway on our target, but we are going to do some more things to sort of boost the awareness of it because it was a passion project and we still want to support the NHS as much as we can. So yeah, watch this space and we'll keep you posted. But it's there. It's always there to be listened to be donated to and all that jazz.
Absolutely. So thank you again. We'll have another session for you next week where we'll have some guests on and we'll announce that at the start of next week. So
sweet.
See you later.
See you later, guys.